Hello everyone, welcome to my channel for Erica Dawn Voices. I am Erica Dawn. I'm a professional voiceover talent, voiceover coach, as well as an instructional designer, ad content creator, and copywriter out of Atlanta, Georgia. I literally just came off of one of my workshops that I hold monthly. I try to do at least 2 workshops per month called Intro to Voiceover, the workshop. It is a free workshop where everyone can come on, learn all about getting started with voice acting, as well as participate in some script reading for feedback. So I just wrapped my stream with one of the workshops, so I figured while I am already sort of camera ready, that I would just come on camera here and just talk a little bit more about how to become a voice actor. So I do have another video on here that kind of gave a brief introduction of who I am, how I got started and all of that. But I want to kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive in this video to kind of just tell you more about how you can break into the business, as well as some hurdles that you may come across when trying to break into the business, some things that you may be hearing in the industry that may be discouraging you or keeping you from taking that leap and jumping for your goals and your dreams. I'm here to smash all that and to make sure that you are absolutely going after your dreams and your goals, because you too can become a professional voice actor if that is something that you absolutely dream of doing. If you're not new to my channel, then you may have seen previous videos where I talked about what I want this channel to become. It's been a little bit of time with getting new content rolling for the channel, but I'm finally in a space where I can actually do that and bring more content to you. And I mentioned how I want this channel to also be encouraging. I don't like a lot of things that I see out in the industry and people just being mean and just bashing people with their avenues and the ways that they take the road to voiceover success. And I just want to kind of encourage you to go your own route and do things that you feel are easier for you, or that you feel are more convenient for you, or that you feel you're finding success in. There are certain things in certain areas that you definitely want to avoid, certain things that you want to avoid. There are also certain things that are just simply my opinion that may differ from some of the things that you're hearing out there. But I absolutely want to encourage you that if voice acting is something that you want to do, you absolutely can do it. I've seen and witnessed my students that I coach grow tremendously just over within the last year. They are growing so much and getting opportunities and just really feeding off of each other and bouncing ideas off of one another, and it's just so great to see. And I just love the fact that they are staying encouraged in it. All of them are not soaring to the top. Some of them are growing a little quicker than others, but everyone's not moving at the same pace. But not one person has gotten discouraged to the point where they're quitting. Everyone is going, and I just love that, and I want to encourage you to do the same. So without further ado, I'm going to just kind of get into a little bit about how I got into the voice acting space, tell you a little bit about my first audition experience with becoming a voice actor, and just giving you some simple, quick little things just so that you can know what you need to do, what you need to have in order to at least get a start, okay? So again, my name is Erica Dawn. I have lived here in Atlanta, Georgia for 10 years now. Before I moved here, I actually had dreams of becoming a voice actor. I really wanted to do some Disney character roles because I sing, and I always had a dream of becoming like a Disney princess and singing like part of that world. I always wanted to do that. So with that being said, I was like, well, in order to sing, I would need to actually be able to act as well. So I've done some theater, some stage productions, as well as on-camera work. I've done lots of background work here in Atlanta, and I've also done some lead acting roles in some smaller independent films. I absolutely love being on camera. As you can see, I'm not camera shy. I love being on camera. I love acting on camera, but I've always had a desire to be behind the scenes, and that kind of helped me along the route of taking the voiceover road as well. I've always been one to pay very close attention to commercials that I hear on the TV. A lot of times we're just visual people, so we see commercials, but we're not really paying attention to the fact that there's a voice behind those commercials. We just automatically think that the woman that we see skipping down the sidewalk with the flowers popping up, that it's her that's speaking, when in all actuality there is another voice talent that is behind that commercial read. So a lot of people don't think about that. They just kind of just see a commercial and they don't think about the fact that there's someone hired behind that voice. So I was always one that paid very close attention to that, as well as animated characters. When I first got into voiceover, I thought animation was the route that I wanted to go, but anyone who works with me or has taken any of my workshops know that I'm really big on niching down when it comes to your voiceover career. So with me doing that, I found that narration is not my niche, and it is not the area that I desire to do the most anymore. So you may find that along your journey as well. Some areas that you think that you may be interested in, you find later that you're not really that interested in it, or it's not that fun, or you don't really enjoy it as much. And that's perfectly okay. I am a former professional dancer. I still do choreography and things like that, so technically I'm still a professional in the dance space. However, I learned that with trying to find an agent for performance and things like that, that it's really hard to get the information that you need as far as finding work, finding jobs, finding opportunities without having representation. So with that being said, I knew that in order for me to really get into this business, I have to not only get coaching, because coaching was number one, okay, but I need to get representation. Now, I came to learn quickly that representation isn't everything when it comes to this voiceover business, and I've learned that over time. But I'm just speaking from where I was in the beginning of my career. I thought that that was it. You need an agent in order to get voiceover work, which is not true. You can absolutely do voiceover work without an agent, but that is really what drove me and motivated me to go to try to get agency representation, and I did. So how I got started in voiceover was with coaching. Like I said, I started kind of dibbling and dabbling into voiceover before I moved to Atlanta. I bought a ton of equipment, tons of microphones and microphone stands and pop filters and ISDNs and all types of stuff that I had absolutely no idea how to operate, how to use. I just bought it all because I'm like, okay, I'm a voice actor. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I need in order to do this. And I had no clue what I was doing at all, even with the equipment. I'm not a techie person, so I had no idea what I was even doing with the microphone or with the equipment. Everything was wrong. Everything that I had was wrong. That's why I am an advocate for not buying equipment and focusing on your studio before you focus on your voice, because this right here is the most valuable and most important piece of equipment that you own if you want to be a voice actor. So I learned that later, so I'm just giving you the tea now, but I will say in the beginning, I thought that that was the way to do it. That's what I heard. Those were all the buzzwords that I heard. You need a microphone, you need this, you need that. So that's how I started, and it was all wrong. Once I got into coaching, which I absolutely adored my coach, I absolutely loved going to class every other day. So 3 times out of the week, I would go to class. I had a job, a full-time job at the time, where I was working it wasn't an evening shift, but I was working from like 1 to 9 p.m. I had to adjust my shift so that I could go to class, because the class started at like 8. So I was able to kind of adjust my shift to where I worked an 11 to 7 shift, and I was able to get off and avoid traffic, because Atlanta traffic is crazy, okay? I was able to avoid that rush hour traffic and get to class in time and spend 2 hours 3 times a week in class with my coach and with other fellow aspiring voice actors who I'm still really good friends with today. So really good time. I studied at the studio for 3 months straight, so 3 times a week for 3 months. So it wasn't just a quick little workshop or something like that. Like, no, I was in class every other day learning how to be a voice actor. All of the things that I thought I knew about voice acting, I was just wowed by all of these skills and tips and tricks and just so much information that I was given by my coach that helped me realize, like, this takes a lot of work. This is not that easy. A lot of us assume, or a lot of people in general who are interested in voice acting, they assume that because we are audible, meaning that we have the ability to speak, that of course we could do voiceover work. It can't be that hard, it's just reading. No, it's way more than reading, okay? Even in the audiobook narration world, you're not just reading a book, okay? It's not like when you're in school and you just go one by one and you read a paragraph. That's not what it is, okay? It takes skill, it takes technique, and it also takes acting skills, okay? And you have to have all of those facets in order to be a successful voice actor. If you really want to make this a career, you really want to do this full time. I do this full time now, so I don't have that job anymore. I don't have any other job other than my voice acting and my coaching. I am getting ready to go into a new space of instructional design, which I kind of fell into with my course design and coaching from voiceover, but that's a whole nother thing. And working with e-learning developers as a voice actor, it kind of pushed me into another space, which I'm just interested in. I don't have to do the work, but it's just something that I'm really interested in doing. So yeah, so I will be working and have been working in the course design space. However, I don't have another job is what I'm trying to say. I do this full time. Was I doing this full time from the very beginning? Absolutely not. Okay. You still got to pay your bills. It's still going to take time for you to get there. You have to be patient. If you are not a patient person when it comes to something that you are interested in, you have to absolutely be passionate about it and really love it. Because if you don't, you will get burnt out very quickly and you will quit. And you can't quit. Okay. So you've got to keep going. It took years before I finally came upon a position or a job through my agency. I thought that getting an agent meant that I was in the money. That's not what it meant. I still had to train, still had to keep building up my voice to develop into a better professional. I say all the time that when I listen to my very first demo, it makes me cringe because I've grown so much over the years in my voice acting abilities. So you will find that too. But again, it's going to take years for you to really get to that lucrative space that you can get to if you put in the time, the effort, and the money that is needed in order to get here. Let's touch on the money space because a lot of people want to skip that part. They want to skip the coaching. They want to skip the training. They don't want to pay for anything. They don't want to pay for the webinar. They don't want to pay for the coaching sessions and things like that. It's no different than any other training out there. You go to school for anything, you pay for college, all of that stuff so that you can jump into a career and hopefully make a lot of money. It's the same thing essentially. Same with acting. You have to invest in your craft. Do you have to spend your whole life savings? Absolutely not. But I say, again, this is my opinion, that your first investment, your first big investment needs to be coaching before equipment. Before you go and buy a $3,000 microphone, you need to know how to deliver copy. Because if you have a $3,000 microphone, it's going to collect dust and you're not going to get booked for anything if you don't know how to properly read and deliver a script. Okay? Those clients are paying big money and big dollars for their advertising, and they need to make sure that the person that is behind their commercial is someone who can sell their product or service, or someone who can promote their next event. Okay, so they're investing in you. So they're not going to take a risk just because you have a great microphone. That's not what they're listening for. They're listening for your skill and your ability to sell the product. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. Same in the audiobook narration world. They're not listening to hear how great your microphone is. Usually when you're producing from home, you're producing from ACX, which I will be uploading a video later on some specs about ACX and things to watch out for with that. But with you being a producer through ACX, they have certain parameters and specs that you have to follow and you have to adhere to in order for your projects to even be accepted to be sold on Audible through ACX. Okay. So they're definitely not worried about what type of microphone you're using as long as you're meeting their requirements and specs. Okay. So they want to make sure that you are captivating that listener, that listener is not going to turn away from that audiobook or turn it off, or that listener is going to listen from chapter 1 all the way through chapter 32 without getting bored or distracted or feeling lost or confused. You have to be able to convey the correct characters and things like that. It takes a lot of work and a lot of skill and practice to be able to hone that craft. So again, don't just think that it's just reading or think that it's all about the equipment and the microphone. It absolutely is not. Yes, do you need good equipment? Absolutely. I'm not saying that you don't, but I'm saying that in the beginning of your voice acting career, in my opinion, as a coach, and from what I've seen in the success of my students, is that when you focus on this and your delivery, that's going to get you paid quicker than if you focus on spending all of your money and all of your budget on equipment first. Okay. So with that being said, invest in a coach, find a coach that fits well with you. Find a coach who will help you know what type of equipment you need for your home, who will be able to ask you to take pictures of your home studio so that they can give you the proper advice on what you need in order to be successful. A real coach should be able to help you with that and should be able to be more hands-on with you specifically, separately than any of the other students. I have about 30 people on my roster right now, and each one of them is individual to their own individual needs. Certain ones have different skills for different genres of voiceover, where others are a little bit more skilled in other genres of voiceover. Some have a well-treated home studio, some don't. Some I suggest, hey, let's try to figure out where you can go outside to record that demo, or where you can go to record these auditions, because the space that you're in right now is not proper. So your coach should not be just, telling you whatever it is you want to hear. They should actually be hands-on with you to make sure that you're going in the right direction that you need specifically for your voiceover career. Okay? So make sure that you are investing in the right type of coach in order to help you. Make sure that you are getting the proper training that you need. If you go to an acting school or something like that, make sure you're reading the website for testimonials. Make sure that you're reading reviews about people's experience. Follow other voice actors and find out where they trained. All that good stuff. So that's me, in my opinion, that is the number one thing you need to focus on if voice acting is something that you want to do, or acting in general. You need to get in class. I would say the same to those who are aspiring to be pro dancers. In order to become a professional dancer or to be a great dancer at all, you need to get in class, okay? So it's no different than anything else that requires a skill. Get in class, get coached, okay? The next thing I want to talk to you about is not getting jaded. I'm going to do another video on this as well, just about blocking out the noise that you hear out there. So I'm not going to get on my soapbox too much and talk too much about that, but I am going to say to you that, again, you want to stay in your own lane. You want to do things that are best for you. You want to kind of, scatter through and see, what's the most common advice that I'm seeing out there, but block out the negativity. Especially in certain Facebook groups or social media forums and things like that, you're gonna hear a lot of noise. You're gonna see a lot of crabs in a barrel who are just being nasty for no reason at all, okay? If you just simply ask a question, they just come pouncing down on you. Or if you wanna celebrate a win, even if it's a small win, they will make you feel like it's the worst thing ever in life and you shouldn't be proud of your accomplishment. Please do not get discouraged by any of that you see. I have some of my students who are absolutely paying attention to that and have been held back because of it. Do not let it get to you, okay? I say it all the time in my workshops when we talk about pay-to-play sites, which again, I'll do another video to go on a deeper dive of what that means and what that is. But there's a lot of people out there who would discourage you from doing smaller gigs or smaller roles in the beginning of your career, which I will never discourage someone to do that. You do what's best for you and do what you feel is your worth. Because other people shouldn't be counting your pocket. They shouldn't be worried about your wallet. And if they're really getting it, what you do in the gigs that you take that are only offering smaller amounts or things like that should not be affecting their career or affecting their jobs. Okay, so and I will say this too, which again, I will elaborate on this in another video when I get into the whole pay to play freelance stuff. But a lot of these people just don't know. There's a lot of businesses or people who are looking for voice talent who don't know anything about the voiceover industry or the voiceover market. So they're not trying to necessarily just screw us over and not give us what we are worth or what we deserve, but you can propose it, especially as a freelancer. So I've come across many clients who just didn't know what the rates were, what the industry rate should be, and they had no problem adjusting. So don't just come down on people so hard if they offer you a certain amount of money or if they're asking you to help with a student project. I've seen people attack young budding artists who are looking for voice talent to be a part of their projects, and they may not have a budget. The vultures will just pounce down on them as if they just said the worst thing ever in life to them, and it's just not right. It's not fair. If it's not for you, it's just not for you. Let someone who's willing to do it. Do what's best for you. Do what's best for your budget. Do what's best for your life. There are certain gigs that I'm not even gonna take a second look at because it's not worth it to me. But that doesn't mean it's not worth it to another new voice actor. And I would never discourage someone from doing that, okay? So again, that's for another video where we talk about all of that and the people. But I just had to touch on that because that goes into the whole breaking into the voice acting world. You will see that, you will come across it. Just watch out for it. Don't let it get to you. All right, and lastly, I'm just gonna touch on, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, okay? We all have to start somewhere. You will get negativity. That's just gonna happen, especially on social media. People are just miserable, and that's just the truth. But don't let that get to you. Get feedback from your peers. Your friends and family, I'll be 100% honest, know nothing about voice acting, okay? This is your lane, this is your goal, this is your passion. They don't care. They're not gonna be worried about how you sound, your sound quality, things like that. They don't really know. They can give you basic general feedback though on if it sounds cool, if it sounds good, or if they feel like they could hear you on a commercial and things like that. So find groups and support groups for voice acting that can give you the positive feedback that you need. Like I said, network with other voice actors, follow other voice actors, follow aspiring voice actors so that you can connect with them and help each other out. Make friends in the business, grow together. I encourage all of my students. That's why I have class meetings with everyone, even though my courses are in the digital format to where it's self-paced. They can go on there and they can just, do things on their own time. I still have a classroom environment and setting with my students. We have an exclusive Facebook group that's just for my students so that they can be able to bounce off each other, encourage one another, grow together, because you need friends. I had a friend that came up with me in training, and when she sees events out in the city, she invites me. If I see events out in the city, I invite her. We're still friends. We're gonna stay friends because we're growing together, okay? And it's been 8 years. So definitely make friends, grow with one another. Don't cut yourself off from other people because you're afraid that you don't fit in or you have imposter syndrome. I suffer from imposter syndrome all the time. I second guess myself too, even though I've been in this business for a while and I'm a coach and all that. Sometimes I second guess myself like, wow, why are these people listening to me? But then I have to remind myself, because I do this and because I've been successful at this and because I help them be successful. And I'm reminded every day when I get that email from a student who's thanking me for my encouragement or thanking me for helping them with a project or things like that. Like, I absolutely love that. That's what I am here for. That's why I do what I do. So I want you to be encouraged to make sure that you're going after your goals and your dreams in the best way possible that you see fit, blocking out the noise, connecting with the right people, getting feedback from the right people, taking advice from the right people so that you can make sure that you are on the right path to voiceover success. Okay, so I know I didn't really talk much about voice acting in general and like how specifically to break into the business. I did tell you coaching and training is really the way to go. And I also will be honest and tell you that my coach was very reputable and well known in the city as a voice acting coach. And I think that also helped me too. So sometimes, who you trained with can absolutely help give you a boost as well. So keep that in mind when you are investing in your coaching, that is part of the investment also. Do your research on that coach. Who do they know? What are their student success rates? Like things like that. Look into all of that so that you can know, okay, this person is well known in the industry. Maybe they're going to help me in some way just by me working with that particular person. Okay, so keep all of that in mind. And of course, I just wouldn't be right here on my channel if I didn't let you know that I offer coaching and training. So if you want to join my team over at Erica Dawn Voices, we would love to have you as part of the class roster. You would be absolutely invited to all of our class meetings, all of our lunch and learns that will be taking place with me, just coming on and giving you some industry tips or things that's going on in the industry. You would be a part of the Facebook group that I was telling you about so that you can be able to grow with your peers along the way. And of course, you would have me to guide you step by step along your journey in this voiceover world that we are all trying to be successful in. All right, so I do have a course that is online. It's an intro to voiceover course. level 1. I have to say that now because a second level course, a third level course, and a bonus course will be released very, very soon. And if you're not already a part of my email list, you can join my email list by just shooting me a quick email at ericaDawnVoices@gmail.com. You can DM me on Facebook or Instagram as well and just let me know, hey, I'd like to join the mailing list, so that you can stay up to date on any workshops that I have coming up. You will also be invited to the launch party that I'm going to be hosting very soon when those courses drop, which is going to be so much fun. I can't wait until we do that. It's going to be free. It's going to be fun. It's going to be virtual. Come win prizes, do trivia, all types of good stuff like that. And also you'll just be able to stay up to date on my coaching and training, or if I drop any content here on this channel, which I've got a lot of content ideas that are coming up very soon that I plan to launch for this channel. So get ready for that. And lastly, of course, I need you to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to this channel. If you enjoyed this video today, make sure you hit the like button on this video. Even drop a comment below if you would be so kind. I would definitely respond to you. If you have any questions about any of my services, you can also drop that in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to answer you back. And I hope to see you guys all on my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye.